Romanticism emerged as a counterpoint to this development, celebrating nature, emotion, and spiritual. Okay. Romantic writers and artists sought to reclaim the connection to the natural world and to elevate the individual experience. And they saw beauty in the ordinary and finding inspiration in the common man and the untamed landscape. This focus on the individual and their subjective experience was a defining characteristic of Romanticism. Okay, so Romanticism doesn't mean that someone will be smart. Okay, that means love of beauty, love of nature, love of the past, love of the past, love of the past, and also emotion, spiritual, love of spirituality, supernaturalism, and the other characteristic, that is the subjectivity, will be the characteristics of romantic literature. And the romantic literature, as we have said, that came into existence after French Revolution. And we have also said that Rousseau and Voltaire, they had been living in France. At that time, Louis XIV was the king of France. So Louis XIV, he had been enjoying power, but the common people was not happy with his power. And for this reason, Rousseau and Voltaire will come up with their slogans. 3 words, write it down: equality, fraternity, and liberty. Equality, fraternity, and liberty. And at that time, with that slogans, all people gathered, and the French Revolution occurred, and the Bastille fought. And with that explanation, we say that romantic literature will be dealing with the spontaneous overflow of minds. Okay, that is, if there is the love of nature, we can say that is the romantic poems. Even we see in Wordsworth, that is the love of nature. In case of Shelley, he started to write the revolutionary zeal. Coleridge, he took supernaturalism as a vehicle of writing his poetry. Keats, William Wordsworth was a poet of nature. John Keats was also a poet of nature. But John Keats was very much fascinated towards the outward beauty of the nature. For this reason, Keats is called someone. No, the connection from the things. Okay. So, John Keats was a poet of nature, and simultaneously Wordsworth was a poet of nature. But Wordsworth got the hidden aspects of nature. But in case of John Keats, he was very much happy to watch the outward beauty of nature. And for this reason, John Keats is called the poet of sensuousness. Poet of sensuousness. That means the sense, we have 5 senses: sense of touch, sense of smell, sense of hearing. Okay. So when you read John Keats' poem, you will see the buzzing sound of the nature, you will see the rustling sound of the leaves of the nature. But you will see, in case of William Wordsworth poetry, that you will see the hidden aspect of nature. And for this reason, nature is a living entity to William Wordsworth. Nature is a living entity to William Marshall, and for this reason he said that the heart, the nature never did betray the heart who can nature love someone else? Yes, to Wordsworth, nature can love the person who loves. And for this reason we can say that love of beauty, love of nature, supernaturalism, love of past, individuality are the characteristics of romantic poetry or romantic literature. So Romanticism, a literary movement that emerged in the late 18th and the early 19th century, was a response to the societal shift to the Industrial Revolution and the Enlightenment, emphasizing emotion and the nature and the individual experience. Before Romantic literature, there is the period was the New Classical period. New Classical period, that means poetry should be written following a certain fixed rhythm and rhyme. Common man's poems, lines will not be the part of literature. But Romantic literature came as a challenge to the new classical or classical tenets or characteristics of literature. And he said that yes, common man experience, rustic language will be used in case of language and literature. So there will be the nature will be there, emphasizing emotion. Emotion of every common man will be written in the poems and literature in Romantic period. There will be there. Nature will be there and the individual experience will be there, and enlightenment will be there. That would be the characteristics of Romantic poems. Romantic writers and artists celebrated the power of imagination. Okay. You will not have to pay much if you imagine. Okay. I can imagine. Ode to the Skylark. Shelley went very close to the sky and started hearing the music of a bird. And the bird's music was seemed like that he was getting the music from the heaven. This is imagination. Imagination can soothe you. Nature can soothe your mental gloaming. মানুষের মনের যে দুঃখটা যেমন দূর করতে পারে ন্যাচারাল বিউটি, কোনো সৌন্দর্য জিনিসের সৌন্দর্য, সেরকম imagination and vision can soothe your unhappy mind, not yours, soothe everybody's unhappy mind. So imagination is a specific tenet of Romantic literature and poetry. And the sublime and the exploring theme of isolation and melancholy. Exploration. Okay, if you sit over there in isolation, if you stand over there and if you close your eyes, you will hear many sounds. Sounds of bell of the rickshaw, sound of horn over there, sound of so many chaos over there. In that case, you can't connect your heart. But if you go over there in an isolated place, that is sublime. Tranquility. Tranquility is a very word. There is no pin drop silence of the nature. If you go over there, you will be feeling a mental peace. That peace can be derived from the nature. So the sublime, isolation and melancholy atmosphere can make you mentally happy. Why we need literature? Why would we watch movie? We watch movie to get relief from our mode of life. In that case, imagination, nature, and especially the sublime, melancholic, and the tranquil atmosphere of nature make someone, of course, happy. Is it? That was the aspect of Romantic literature. And Romanticism's influence extended beyond literature, shaping art, music, philosophy, and its emphasis on individual experience, the power of imagination, and the importance of nature continues to resonate in modern culture. So these are the characteristics of Romantic poetry. So we can say the Romantic literature started with the fall of Bastille Fort as the result of French Revolution. That was started in 1789, and after the France anarchy, France got the individuality, the republic or democratic aspects all over the world. When a thing will create in history that will reflect the literature as well. So the slogan Voltaire and Rousseau put, that is democracy, equality and fraternity, that slogan became the tenet and characteristics of Romantic literature. And with that, love of beauty, lot of imagination and love of past were accumulated. Okay, that were the characteristics of Romantic literature. Okay, so